From San Juan Capistrano, it's the national semifinals in the girls under 15 bracket. Hello again, everybody. I'm Greg Porter for George Langevin Video Sports Productions, and we have the two teams. It is the Arsenal FC versus the West Coast FC. First, let's get the Arsenal FC's lineup. They are head coached by Roland Sandquist. Team administrator is Cindy Williams, and Gary is another assistant manager. The goalkeeper will be Tanya Ortiz, number 12. 00 at left defense is Natasha Mata. A goalkeeper that is not here today, injured, is Genevieve Acevedo. Number 2 is Jasmine Santiago, right midfielder. Number 3 at forward is Jennifer Williams. Number 4, who is not here today, big time player for them, is Rika Henshaw. She's got an ACL injury. Number 5 at center mid is Kelly Milkovic. Number 6 at left mid is Hannah Carroll. Number 7 at sweeper is Kelsey Holm. Number 8 at center midfield is Elizabeth Johnson. Number 9 at right mid is Dana Sanderlin. Number 10 at stopper is Kelly Boner. Number 11 at forward is Jennifer Souza. Number 13 at center mid is Jamie White. Number 15 at center mid is Yesenia Rivera. Number 16 at left defender is Emily Crittenden. And number 17 at right defender is Rachel Harding. And that's the lineup for the Arsenal Football Club. And now let's get the lineup for West Coast FC. West Coast FC they have their goalkeeper, that is Jennifer Perry. Number 1 at center forward is Alex Brewster McCullum. Number 2 at defender is Zara Olsen. Number 3 at stopper is Megan Miller. Number 4 at midfielder is Carly Duarte. Number 5 at forward or midfield is Kirsten Allen. Number 6 at defender or forward is Kirsten Magyar. Number 7, she has an ACL injury, Taylor Allen. And she has been one of their important players during the season. Number 8 at forward is Michelle Loftus. Number 9 at midfielder forward is Katie Moyner. Number 10, who is also injured, Brooke Winklepeck. She's not here today. Number 11, defender Barrett Bestard. Number 12 at defender or forward is Katie Sick. Number 13 at midfield is Ariana Lagerborg. Number 14 is injured, and that is Haley Martin. Number 15, forward or midfield position is Mariah Mills. Number 16 at center midfield is Allison Brown. Number 17 at forward or midfielder is Felicia Franco. Number 18 at midfield or defender is Elise Norden. And number 20 at sweeper is Amanda Lobello. The West Coast FC is head coached by Platini Solf, and the team administrator is Donna Loftus. Those are your lineups for the semifinals of the Girls Under 15 Nationals. We'll be right back with the starting of today's game in just a moment. Two teams coming to the middle of the field in the semifinals. That's the way they do it in the Nationals. You have the West Coast FC on your left and the Arsenal on the right.
Oh, that's the one. I thought you were on the field.
Okay, we are now about set to get underway. West Coast FC is going from left to right, and the Arsenal is going from right to left. The yellow and blue are the Arsenal, and then all blue is West Coast FC. Two teams in the semifinals of the girls under 15. And we are underway. Drawn to the back for West Coast FC, and now here come the Arsenal down to Central, and a save has to be made, but a keeper for West Coast FC, and that is Jennifer Perry. Wasn't much of a shot on that one, but wanting to get Perry to at least touch that ball right away. It's going to be a throw-in now for West Coast FC. On the far side of the screen. Let's see who's going to take it. Looks like Zara Olsen is going to have the throw in here. Olsen getting enough air into the ball, and it's quickly kicked out by the Arsenal, and she'll have another chance at it. Very little wind today here in San Juan Capistrano. Beautiful area here right off the freeway, the 5 freeway. Arsenal FC got here by beating the Arsenal White 4-0. In the round of 16, they beat SC United 5-1. In the quarterfinals, they beat the Wolfpack 3-1. And now Zara Olsen to throw it in again. After that ball had headed over to the other field. And getting a touch there, but it is going to be off the Arsenal now, and it's going to be a corner kick now. So the Arsenal defending real quickly here, but they're going to give up the corner. I believe it's Allison Brown taking the corner kick. Up in the air towards that 6-yard box, but the Arsenal able to win it and push it upfield. West Coast, some touches there at midfield, and they have it. They win it and send it back toward the defensive third. Chasing after it now is Franco. The near side, she got her teammate, Lagerborg, and then now to the 18-yard box. The Arsenal defending, getting it up in the air at the the central of the box. West Coast FC have players there, and it is an offside. Franco just a little bit beyond the defenders, and it's now going to be a free kick. No score here in the first half. The Arsenal sending it down to the center circle momentarily. And now they get another player to push it into the defensive half of West Coast FC, and that was Elizabeth Johnson. Going to be a throw-in from the defensive half for West Coast FC. Retreating back and winning it there for a moment. West Coast gets a touch towards the central now. Franco switching it over to Zara Olsen to the far side, and her pass was intercepted and sent back the other way. But they reduce the size of the field and get it back to where the Arsenal have to again try and defend. On the far side, West Coast FC maintaining possession toward the central now, but couldn't get it to Franco a little bit too far. Off the 50-50 ball, it goes to midfield now, and another one up in the air. And the Arsenal coming out with it. Pushing back West Coast FC, but the Arsenal now in the central trying to regroup, and now they have to retreat back on an errant pass there in their own 18-yard box, looking for somebody, nobody there, and getting a quick touch on that one. And driving it past the goal line, though, but still West Coast getting some good touches here. Allison Brown coming down to central on the last one. No score here in the first half. Get a look at the Amtrak going by. Right next to the freeway here. Goal kick for the keeper of Arsenal FC, Tanya Ortiz. And Tanya looking for a teammate, but it's intercepted now. However, the Arsenal able to gain control of it. Now at midfield, the Arsenal. Williams, Jennifer Williams now. Jennifer Williams want to work to the outside to her teammate. Now the service into the box, but it's too far. Not only wasn't into the box, it was way beyond the goal and over towards where I got my car parked. Still no score here in the first half. Amanda Lobello gonna take it for the West Coast Football Club. To midfield now. Off the header, but right there is Natasha Mata, who sends it back to the defensive half for West Coast FC. Jennifer Williams to the out wide, trying to get somebody to run onto it, but Jennifer Souza wasn't able to hold it in. Going to be a throw-in in the deep third for West Coast FC. Sign over there, you can barely see it, a tree. Happy Mother's Day, going to be tomorrow. Into the 18-yard box. And now sent back upfield by West Coast FC, but Tasha Mata making it tough for him to get it down the field. Although in his space there, Megan Miller getting it into the defensive half of the Arsenal. They have a player there just outside the box. And a foul. And it'll be a free kick for the Arsenal. On the far side as they will get a counterattack going here. 50-50 ball, and another one knocked out lastly by West Coast FC, a throw-in for the Arsenal. Outside the 18-yard box. The challenge there, but on it there is Williams. Trying to get it to her teammate into space, taken away. Good defense by West Coast that time. Didn't want to let that ball go into their 18-yard box. On it now is Boner. And following it up, Franco, but she didn't get the kind of ball she wanted to be able to maintain possession of and get it to a teammate. So past the goal line, and it will be a goal kick. Still no score here in the first half. Oh, maybe 10, 15 minutes gone so far. Keep the official time of the center ref on the field. Down to Central. Elizabeth Johnson trying to get a teammate to run onto it, cannot. Lagerborg sending it toward the 18-yard box, but the Arsenal is there to push it upfield. West Coast FC from the far side touchline will get an opportunity to throw it in. Zara Olsen will throw it in for West Coast FC. Getting it towards the box. And it is lastly touched out by the Arsenal. So West Coast in the corner with a corner kick. Allison Brown will take the CK, the set piece here. Let's see what she and her teammates can do with it this time. Toward the 6-yard box, it's carried in and a goal! Go, 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 go! The deflection in the back of the net, and the set piece is successful, and it's 1-0 West Coast FC. Beautiful play. It could have been an own goal on that one. We didn't get actually who actually caromed it in, but either way, it is 1-0. And if somebody did touch it for West Coast, we'll get that to you later on.
Number 4, Carly.
I hear that it might have been Carly Duarte. It probably was. So we'll give her credit for it. 1-0.
Come on, girl, come on.
They had numbers there, and they were able to make that play happen real quick. Did West Coast FC. So from the far side, it'll be a throw-in for the Arsenal. Arsenal down 1-0 now, and they have to begin to think about a little bit more possession and trying to put some pressure on the defenders for West Coast FC. But West Coast FC has been tough so far in the contest at not allowing that to happen. Right there is Lagerborg getting it to a teammate. I believe that was Kirsten Magyar, and then to the far side, the Arsenal have won it and sent it to midfield. Quickly touched there by Zara Olsen, out of play, and the Arsenal will throw it in. Couple of bounces and then driven all the way back for a retreat of the Arsenal in their own defensive half. However, they will be able to throw it in as Kirsten Magyar was trying to run onto it. And we have no whistle there. We didn't know if it's going to be a substitution. Maybe it is. Substitution to the far side for the Arsenal. And it looks like number 5. That's Kelly Malakovic. So Kelly Malakovic into the contest. Toward the 18-yard box now. And retreating back to keep it safe was Hannah Carroll for her keeper, Tanya Ortiz. And Ortiz drives it to midfield and beyond. Trying to get a teammate to run onto it, and they do now. Here's Souza. Souza on the wide. Souza attacking. Souza in the corner. Stopping the soccer ball, but it was too late on that one as it went past the goal line. Nice run by Souza. But it'll be a goal kick for West Coast FC. The Arsenal down 1-0. Need a little bit more of that if they want to tie this game up. The wind is going across the field widthwise, but it is very slight, not creating any kind of a problem today. West Coast FC, in the round of 32, they beat the Alliance FC 3-0. And in the round of 16, they beat Palos Verdes 3-2. And in the quarterfinals, they beat, and a save by Ortiz, they beat OJSC Strikers 1-0. Now in the Central, Elizabeth Johnson, her teammate pushing it up over the head of Jennifer Williams, but here's Johnson again. Johnson winning that one, a little bit taller than Allison Brown, winning that one at midfield and to the outside on a run for Magyar. Couldn't control it. It'll be a throw-in for the Arsenal in yellow and blue. Michelle Loftus. Loftus on the wide. Loftus sending it in the box. Not able to hold on to it is West Coast. And it is driven out by the Arsenal. And so it'll be a throw-in. The Arsenal wearing similar colors, or at least similar markings on their jerseys of the great Arsenal team in the Premier League. Into the corner, Natasha Mata could not control it, and so it's going to be a throw-in. Ariana Lagerborg will throw it in. Ariana wants to try and see if she can get a player to run onto it in the box or control it off the bounce, and it's a goal! Go, 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 go! Lagerborg got the ball in the 6-yard box, and it was number 4, Carly Duarte, for her second goal of the game, and it is 2-0, West Coast Football Club. So the set pieces have been a destruction so far against the Arsenal here in the semifinal game, and they've been able to take a 2-0 lead now here in the first half. They have been like lightning strikes so far in this game, especially Duarte putting it in the back of the net twice.
Come on, girls.
And if you're the head coach for the Arsenal, Roland Sundquist, you got to be thinking you got to find a way to mark Duarte a little bit better because on the set pieces, because she is getting free to have a chance to win this game and go to the final. I believe the winner goes to Idaho, this great city of Boise, Idaho, for further play. The West Coast region. Quick touch there by Malakovic, and Malakovic on it again. Now she has her teammate run onto it into space, directing it up there to Dana Sunderland, or Sanderland that is, and then a header towards the keeper. And a save made by Jennifer Perry. 2-0 as we work towards halftime. Just outside the circle in the defensive half of the Arsenal. And here comes West Coast FC again. Going to throw it in is Zara Olsen. Olsen's been doing the throw-ins from that side of the field in this contest. Off the header, and it's going to be more real estate gained by West Coast FC. Zara Olsen now can try and get it in the 18-yard box. Always dangerous there. Arsenal winning it and getting out of there quickly. Down to Central. Able to get West Coast FC to retreat, but now winning it there was Megan Miller. And he'll push back upfield now. On the outside there is Duarte, the dangerous one in this game. Loftus couldn't control it, but there's Duarte in the space. West Coast FC going to switch it now toward the Central. And trying to win at that time was Lagerborg, but that's not going to work, says the center ref. So it is going to be a free kick for the Arsenal. Down by 2 here in the first half. From their own 18-yard box. Wind kind of picking up momentarily, going to try to blow that ball over towards the far side touchline. Any kind of ball that gets up in the air for the Arsenal. Couple of substitutions as West Coast FC, number 1 and number 11 is into the contest. Barrett Bustard is into the contest, and there's a shot, but it's going to be a corner kick. And number 1, Alex Brewster McCollum is into the contest. So a center forward and a defender coming in now, and it's going to be a CK from the near side touchline. Allison Brown driving it well into the top of the 6-yard box, but up in the air and headed out of the box for the Arsenal as they get a counter going down the far side of your picture there, and intercepted by West Coast FC. And he'll switch it to the near side. But one there into space nicely, but another quick touch there by Barrett Bastard. And it goes out of play past the goal line, but Barrett getting a chance to make contact with that soccer ball now as she is into the contest. Tanya Ortiz wanting her teammates to get going and try and put one in the net, and to try to keep it from being in her presence. But West Coast FC has been able to win the battle at midfield and continue to apply the pressure. Up in the air. Winning it quickly is Elizabeth Johnson, and driving it all the way down toward the defensive half of West Coast FC. But they don't get anybody to run onto it, and West Coast FC has it again. Alex Brewster McCollum couldn't hold it in. A throw in for the Arsenal. Souza down to central now.
Good job, Amanda.
And Jennifer Perry. No problem on that one. Driving it down to central. But the yellow and blue are there to keep it going any further. Souza on the wide side. Looking for somebody to run onto it. Can't do it that time. Johnson as it was taken away. West Coast FC. Kelly Boner. Want to work it to this side, and Jennifer Williams has it. Williams has a teammate and a shot, and it just past the keeper. Another try and a save by Perry. And that's the biggest chance that the Arsenal have had in the contest so far, as they got it by Perry momentarily, but they could not get it in the back of the net. Man, a foul. Free kick now for the Arsenal. Down 2-0 here in the first half. Elizabeth Johnson driving it toward the box, but intercepted as West Coast FC standing tall at the top of the box to get it out of play. Going to be a throw-in, but there's going to be a substitution now for the Arsenal as they want to get a fresh player into the contest. Looks like West Coast FC might be trying to do the same thing, and they are. Number 15 is in for the Arsenal, and that is Yesenia Rivera. And I believe coming into the contest, number 15, Mariah Mills. Either way, we will mention the name of the players that came in whenever they touch that soccer ball if we miss any kind of substitution throughout the course of the contest. Natasha Mata. Rivera. Nice pace for Carroll. Carroll in the box. And that one is headed out of there by West Coast FC. Rivera doesn't want to put pressure that time as Mariah Mills turns and drives it into the defensive half of the Arsenal. And since they touched it up, they being the Arsenal, West Coast FC is going to throw it in. Zara Olsen to throw it in with her team leading by 2 here in the semifinals of the Nationals here in San Juan Capistrano. Shot that didn't provide any kind of problem that time for the Arsenal keeper, Tanya Ortiz. Rivera to the outside, and it goes out of play. A throw-in, though, as West Coast FC knocked it out. Souza to throw it in to Rivera. Rivera going for it again. Off the 50-50, a foul and a free kick for West Coast FC. Zara Olsen sets it up, and her teammate is going to take it. Free kick in midfield, headed toward the 18-yard box, and on a bounce, Ortiz able to handle it. No redirect on that one. Ortiz getting it down the field, the keeper. Arsenal still in their own half of the field. Off the deflection now, able to get West Coast to retreat back. Knocked out of play. And on the near side will be a throw-in, not too far from us. The Arsenal. Natasha Mata will throw it in. Team down by 2. Trying to get something going here in the late stages of the first half. Hannah Carroll throws it in. Gets a quick header by Souza. Mata heads it. Collision there. And now, Alex Brewster McCollum. Bringing it down, West Coast FC into space. A little physical there, Mills. Switching it to the other side, Zara Olsen. Olsen has a nice header. Her teammate trying to get that one to somebody in the box, but it doesn't work. As Souza over there on the far side, knocking it out, but West Coast FC will throw it in. Zara Olsen. Set pieces have been the problem for the Arsenal here in the first half. Throw in. Or corner kick, whichever the case may be. Olsen, offsides. Going to be a free kick now for the Arsenal. And if they want to put a tally here in the first half, they're going to have to hurry up a little bit. Change the way they have been playing and get that ball in their possession a little bit more here. The attacking area. But right now there's a substitution on the far side for the Arsenal, and Roland Sanquist trying to see what is a combination that's going to work to change some things around here, as well as getting players a little breather. That one is knocked out on the far side, or the near side touchline. The Arsenal trying to collect and push it upfield. Williams on it. Over to Mata. There is Sosa. Down to Central. And West Coast FC make it a retreating scenario for the Arsenal. Michelle Loftus was the last substitution for the Arsenal. Correction on that. It was Elizabeth Johnson, last substitution for the Arsenal, coming into the contest. Very nice day today. Not too much wind playing a factor here in the semifinal. Trying to go down to Central, but West Coast FC doesn't want to have any of that. Pushes it up the field. And a nice ball play to the outside for Zara Olsen. And Olsen trying to connect that time with Alex Brewster McCollum, but could not. A throw in for the Arsenal. Anytime with a 2-0 lead, they can waste time off that clock. West Coast FC, they will do it. Doesn't bother them. The Arsenal on the onus to try and make do. keeping that ball in play, keeping possession of it. Been a difficult thing so far here in the first half. They get a run and a circle and a push to the outside now. Souza, the far side run, getting a teammate now to drive it toward the box. A deflection and a save. They did get a foot on it that time, but not much to get it by the keeper, Perry. And Perry will drive it down to midfield. Not getting enough of those types of plays in this game are the Arsenal, and nearly a handball. Alex Brewster McCullum getting it to her teammate. Driving back Elizabeth Johnson. And Johnson going to try to find somebody upfield. Couldn't get it to Rivera. Now into space, Sanderlin. And a foul on Sanderlin. So a free kick. West Coast FC. West Coast FC is only allowed 2 goals, 3 different rounds of play coming in till today. Shutting 2 teams out. And they are shutting out the Arsenal so far here in the first half. Ortiz. And before she can do that is a whistle. Going to be a substitution. West Coast FC going to get some fresh players in. Not a thing that the Arsenal really wants to see at this point. Down by 2. Down to Central. 17-8 into the contest. Felicia Franco into the contest again. And Michelle Loftus, I believe, was the other player that came in. Going to be a free kick. Arsenal need to try to get it in the attacking area from way back. Into space, controlling it there. Milakovic, and then getting it out to the wide. Finding a player there in the space to control, and that is Souza. Souza not getting it to another teammate, and it's driven all the way back. Defensive half. Arsenal now. Johnson by 1 teammate onto the foot of the West Coast FC. And now Johnson will retreat back and allow Kelly Boner to try and do something with it, but could not. And it is going to be a throw-in for West Coast FC. Substitution for the Arsenal. Milakovic is coming out. Kelly's going to be replaced by a player that, when she turns to our side, and that is number 7, Kelsey Holm. So Holm in there to play sweeper. West Coast FC, a service into the box, and more like a shot. And it was an offsides call anyway. Going to be a free kick. The Arsenal down 2-0 here in the first half. Time running out here in the first half for them. Doesn't mean a 2-0 lead cannot be eradicated in the second half. But that looks like it might be the case for them if they cannot make anything happen here in the waning moments of the first half. Mata getting it over there to Johnson. And a wide side. They seem to be, the strong side of their offense seems to be on that side of the field. West Coast FC knows that, and they have been giving them a lot of trouble trying to make a very accurate play or a very dynamic play from that side of the field. Johnson up in the air. Now her teammate has it. But right there, ranging there into space, was very nicely done was Magyar. Those are the types of things that West Coast FC's been able to do in this contest.
Good job, good job.
In space, Jennifer Williams are drawn back. They want to go up to Central with it. But right there was Magyar applying the pressure. Here's Mariah Mills, and then to the wide. Looking for the ever dangerous Duarte, but not too much pace on it for her to get to it. Throw in for the Arsenal. And they're on defensive third with Johnson. Getting a quick touch by Rivera. And her teammate, Sanderlin, was trying to come down with it, could not. It's a throw in for West Coast FC. Nice control into space, and then they lose it momentarily, but they win it again. Turning again. West Coast FC getting the majority of the touches in this game. Providing a problem for the Arsenal. And the Arsenal looking at trying to strike quickly as a possibility to get something on the board here. Ortiz with the save. Wasn't much of a try there, but there again, it's on the other side of the field, and it makes the Arsenal go a long way. And that's the end of the first half with the score. The West Coast Football Club 2 and the Arsenal Football Club nothing. Stick around, you'll be hearing and seeing what's going on at halftime with both teams, and then we'll be back with the second half of action in just a moment. Second half set to get underway. The Arsenal Football Club will be going from left to right in yellow and blue. And in all blue, West Coast FC, they lead 2-0 on Duarte's 2 goals. Carly has been very effective in the first half, and that is obviously a thing that Roland Sandquist have probably told their team that they need to take care of her in the second half. Otherwise, we're not going to have a chance of winning this one. And any of that type of offense that they've been able to put on the set pieces, they have a chance to win this contest and go to the final. You got a quick change in the pronunciation, Kelly Bonner. And we are underway. 17 out there for the Arsenal. Bonner, and it rolls back. On the far side is Mata. Keeps it in. Nice play. Nice hustle there. Getting it. Good passing now for the Arsenal. And it seems like that is the thing here in the second half. They are doing a lot better. You can see an improvement from in the first half. Now at midfield, though. Mills drives it down to Central. A long run on a long ball to Katie Sick, but that one had too much pace on it, and the keeper rolls it out. In his space there is Sanderlin. Finds a teammate who comes to the soccer ball, Williams, and Getting into another teammate for a run on the wide side now. However, again, West Coast FC, they like to possess that ball too, and they will do just that as they have done well in the first half. In a space, they control it now. Heading toward the attacking area. Kicked out of play by the Arsenal. Ball is still in on the near side and then it finally rolls out. Zara Olsen throwing it in. Try to flick on that time by Mariah Mills, but her teammate didn't get to it, and it's head toward the 18-yard box, and a save is made by Perry. Going to drive it down the field. Off the bounce. Goes out of play, and it'll be a throw-in. Arsenal maintaining possession momentarily, and a foul there in that space, so it'll be a free kick. Free kick now for the Arsenal. Want to try to get it toward the box. Arsenal down by 2. Service toward the box, but it doesn't arrive there as West Coast FC's Magyar making a nice play to keep it from going there. Williams, and then now this one's into the box. The keeper able to make the save. Player was shielded off that time, and for the Arsenal, good defensive play. Going to be a throw in a far side touchline, but before that, it's a substitution for the West Coast Football Club. And coming into the contest is Michelle Loftus. And Michelle Loftus over into the corner. Had to put pressure on, and that one was kicked out of play, so it is going to be a throw-in. Try to do something with it in an attacking third, will the West Coast FC. They lead 2-0. Zara Olsen going to throw it in. Olsen toward the 18-yard box. They get it in there, and it's bounding around, and a keeper able to make the save. Mariah Mills almost got it by the keeper and into the net. She was at the doorstep in that 6-yard box. And fortunately for head coach Roland Sandquist and the Arsenal, it didn't go in the back of the net. They still keep it a 2-0 lead. Only for the West Coast. That one goes over our head. And a throw in now. Very quickly. Sanderlin not wasting any time. Into space. And that's one of the things the Arsenal will have to do. When that ball goes out of play, they need to get it in play. Take advantage of the time with possessions and effort. Rivera driving it down the field. They have to be more accurate in their passing game and what they're trying to do. They cannot afford the ball to go out of play. It just eats up time off the clock, and when you're down 2-0, it's something that works against you. Felicia Franco, her teammates, and a run on the far side, and they can't coordinate it on that one. But when you're ahead 2-0, it's not a problem. Will be a goal kick for the Arsenal. Just an outstanding area here in San Juan Capistrano. Nice soccer fields here. The Cal South. to the far side, and it rolls out of play. Chasing it down there was Hannah Carroll. And she'll be able to throw it in as West Coast FC knocked it out. They have had some okay chances here in the second half of the Arsenal. But they are going to have to make those okay chances become very good chances to outstanding chances as this second half ensues. Towards getting it in the back of the net if they're going to have a chance to continue on in the tournament. Do the Arsenal. But FC, the West Coast variety, has been doing what they need to do. And here they have another chance at midfield again with a free kick to extend their lead into the box. The header by the Arsenal. It's still bouncing around, and the Arsenal able to come out with it. But right there, Allison Brown just not allowing it to go upfield beyond and into her own defensive half. The little things like that, they all add up towards keeping a lead. Arsenal now trying to get the passing game going again. Trying to find the right pace for each other to work with it. There's Mariah Mills switching it to the far side. And it goes out of play. It'll be a throw-in. And a throw-in for West Coast FC. Not in any kind of hurry. They get it in, and it's now headed toward that attacking area, but doesn't last there long as the Arsenal come back with it. Souza, her teammates, controlling still, heads toward the 18-yard box, but nobody is there as Lobello able to drive it upfield. Amanda with a lot of time, and that's one of those things the Arsenal can't afford. They have to continue to apply pressure on every defender, every player in the attacking area to try to get something in the back of the net. And it will be a free kick now for the Arsenal. Let's see what they do with this set piece. Not too far from the box. They can get it in the box. And there it is into the box, but it's intercepted. Touches by West Coast FC, but driven back in the box, and it turns out to be a shot. That the save is made by Perry. Another ball came onto the field. They got that one out of there. In the soccer world, the fields right next to each other. Don't have a lot of space to work with, so you will see a ball from the other field come into play. Players adept in knowing that, and they usually don't trip over it or play the wrong ball. Maturity thing, and something you may see more so with kids at a younger age. West Coast FC maintaining a possession game at midfield and sending it all the way down. And coming away off her line here is the keeper for the Arsenal, Ortiz. Ortiz driving it midfield, but intercepted at midfield by West Coast FC. However, they get it back, and then a nice slide tackle. Just meeting that ball and sending it out of play there. Nice job by Magyar. Kirsten playing a fine game, and here the Arsenal now will bring in some fresh players. So FC, West Coast FC. That's number 13, Jamie White, now into the contest for the Arsenal. And West Coast FC, see who they bring in. It's Carly Duarte So the goal scorer is back in for West Coast FC. The Arsenal. Bonner, and then now the header there by Loftus. Jamie White into central, but can't control it long enough, and it goes all the way to the deep back for the Arsenal.
Come on, Michelle.
Dvordy on an outside run, trying to get to it, but will not be able to as the Arsenal will get to it first. And Magyar coming back and knocking it out of playing a near side touchline, but there again, eliminates more time off the clock. Jennifer Williams are throwing in for the Arsenal. Souza toward the central with two Arsenal players there, but they don't control it. Goes up the field. Mata not getting a good accurate shot to one of her teammates. And to the far side now, West Coast FC will throw it in. Met by a West Coast FC player and driving the two deep back players who were trying to reduce the size of the field to retreat. And now they're able to drive it down the field and try to get a counterattack going. Doesn't last long though. And a miscue that time by Mills, and then it's bouncing around in the middle of the field, but again, they have a player to run onto it, Magyar. In the central, they win it, send it to the wide, but it doesn't connect. And it'll be a throw-in by West Coast FC, and we have a substitution. Looks like the Arsenal bring in a fresh player. Working our way halfway through the second half. 2-0, West Coast FC leads here in the semis of the Nationals. Winner goes to the final. And off to Karam. It'll be out of play. Lastly touched out by the Arsenal.
Good job, Zara.
Zara Olsen will take her time. Throws it in. The Arsenal get the header, get another touch on it. Toward the center of the field. Can't win it. West Coast FC off the bounce. Trying to attack there. Rushing was Ariana Lagerborg, and she couldn't quite win that one in the air. Keeper was there. Quick decision for the Arsenal keeper, Ortiz. Sent down the field. Williams on the rush, but it goes out of play, can't control it. West Coast FC will have the throw-in from over there. They throw it in towards midfield, can't win it. There's a foul. So the Arsenal have a free kick. But can they control it and get a good coordinated play in the box? Williams to Harding. Harding on the near side. Finds her teammate quickly there. That's Sanderlin. Sanderlin, her service into the box, trying to get a header. Trying to get somebody to run onto it. It's up in the air. The keeper trying to, she bats it down and they get it out of the box. West Coast FC again in their 6-yard box. They're being tough today. The Arsenal will throw it in though. On the far side. The service into the 6-yard box. Nobody there. Or Sanderlin was the only one there, and she tried to do something with it, but she actually knocked it out of play because she was being marked well there. They had the good coverage. No other players were there for the Arsenal, and they couldn't make anything out of that situation. The Arsenal pretty much on every situation in the attacking area, they have to have players there if they want to continue on. West Coast FC will throw it in. And there's substitutions. 15 and 1 come in for West Coast FC. Alex Brewster McCullum is into the contest now. Mariah Mills. And if there was a substitution for the Arsenal, we'll mention her name as she touched that soccer ball. The Arsenal down 2-0. West Coast FC trying to make something happen in the box. Can't do it as they toughen up to the 0-2 of the Arsenal in the middle of the field. Don't want to allow it to go any further. But getting a touch there is Hannah Carroll. Carroll looking for a teammate to run onto it. Didn't get what they wanted. So Olsen will throw it in on the near side. Olsen getting a lot of air on the ball. Olsen will control it again and knocks it out of play. Sanderlin to throw it in. Doesn't get it to her teammate. Into central now. Retreating back to midfield, Jamie White. But White has her pass intercepted by Doherty. Doherty taking her time into space, trying to send it to the wide side. But that ball will roll at too much pace on it, a long ball. She had the right idea, but either way, that works for West Coast FC because it drives them back and makes them have to work harder to go the distance. Ball into central. West Coast FC with the control of it. Pushing it over there to Brewster McCullum. Zara Olsen. Olsen can't find anybody. So it'll be a throw-in for the Arsenal. Going to be substitution for the Arsenal. Trying to get a fresh player in there. Coach Roland Sanderlin. Or Sandquist, that is. And a throw-in with that fresh player. With his team down 2-0. This one is driven right to the keeper there by Jennifer Williams. Williams saying, this time I'll try a long-distance shot. Keeper able to handle it, Perry. Driving it to midfield. Emily Crittenden is into the contest. Number 16 for the Arsenal. Crittenden trying to chase that one down, and it goes out of play to far side touchline. So Lagerborg will throw it in. Not in a hurry either. Leading 2-0 here in the second half. Ball towards midfield, and that one was knocked out by the West Coast FC. Williams throws it in, getting a quick run there by Hannah Carroll. Carroll, nice step over. Carroll can't continue on as West Coast FC able to control it and knock it out of play. And now they can get players back there to help out defensively. Arsenal will throw it in. Williams to the top part of the box. Doherty getting it out of the box. And getting a run now down to central with Zara Olsen. And Olsen out to the wide side. Looking for Mariah Mills, and it goes out of play. Lastly touched by the Arsenal. Substitution coming in. Look like for both teams. Brown leaving the contest for West Coast FC. And it looks like number 9, Katie Moyer, I believe, is into the contest. That's actually Megan Miller, number 3, into the contest. And that is going to be an offsides. Alex Brewster McCollum was trying to say, hey, I got 1v1 with a keeper, but not that time. So for the Arsenal, a team who only allowed 2 goals getting to this game by the opposition. Problem is they've allowed 2 in this game, and they have not been able to match it. But there's still time. Toward the central, but that had too much pace on it by Rachel Harding, looking for Hannah Carroll. Jamie White was there. Santiago, Jasmine Santiago, who had entered the game. Number 2, chasing after it. We may have more substitutions. We do for the Arsenal. Roland Sandquist trying to do anything he can to keep them fresh and keep the attack on, but West Coast FC has been able to match it and not allow a goal. Megan Miller driving it out of the 18-yard box area. However, the Arsenal have it in the box. Dwardy misses it. Here's a chance. A save again and another shot and a miss. 2 opportunities that time, but they could not connect. The Arsenal. Dana Sanderland might have been best trying to not try to kick it the second time and see if she could find somebody coming towards the net. Felt she was in a hurry or had to make something happen. Took the shot and wasn't accurate the second time. Going to be a throw-in for the Arsenal. And substitutions for West Coast FC. Again, as I mentioned a moment ago, matching the players with a substitution scenario so that they are not worn out and they can keep that pressure on them defensively. West Coast FC. Michelle Loftus and Barrett Bastard into the contest. Into the corner. It is going to be a throw-in, and Zara Olsen will take it. The throw-in headed toward the box, but the Arsenal winning it. It's in the box now, and a chance. Got it way too high over the net. Mariah Mills. But having to chase after that ball and bring it back into play, working for West Coast FC. And head coach Platini Sof managed this game quite well with a 2-0 lead. And in the way it's going, he will be in a final of the Nationals. The Arsenal getting crunched even more for time, and to try to make very, very good, accurate plays to try to get it in the back of the net. And more and more that works on your mental aspect, the harder it is to try to catch up or to try to win the game. The Arsenal at midfield. Lakovic, and then it's rotted out of play by Lagerborg. The throw in. Santiago knocked out by the West Coast FC. Carroll to throw it in. Hannah wants to find a teammate to run onto it. Finds Williams. And into the box. But the West Coast FC has somebody there. The semicircle to get it upfield. Into space, but one, that time Harding driving it toward the 18-yard box. Williams trying to chase it down. Let's see, it was lastly touched out. Lastly touched out by West Coast FC, and it'll be a corner kick for the Arsenal. They have to take advantage of a play like this in this game. The set piece, down by 2. The Arsenal, a bending ball, and it's bent too much. Side of the net, and they don't get anything off of that. And it's now going to be a free kick for West Coast FC. 2-0. West Coast Football Club scored the 2 goals in the first half, and they're making it stand up here in the second. But now here comes a run by Sanderlin, and Sanderlin doesn't get to it as it's knocked out by Zara Olsen. It'll be a throw-in, though, for the Arsenal. Arsenal running out of time here. And they want to, Roland Sanquist wants to get a fresh player in the contest. And so Sanderlin is racing over there to try to get the fresh player in. And does West Coast, they're going to get a fresh player in the contest too. They're not racing to get that fresh player in either, but playing within the rules. The time working against the Arsenal. Outside of the box. Harding not able to get anybody to run onto it. So it'll be a goal kick. Katie Moyner came in for West Coast Football Club with her team up by 2. Any precious time running out here. Going to be a free kick. The Arsenal now have to almost begin to think about gambling here, as the time being a factor. The header upfield. The situations of play by West Coast FC being a factor in this game. Standing tall when they need to. The football club, West Coast, making it very difficult for the Arsenal. Well, they have a dribbler there. It's Johnson. Johnson going to switch it to the near side. Get it by Olsen. They do. Trying to get a return pass. Won't get the return pass as Olsen sends it up the field. And keeping it in that time by Moyner. Driven back toward the central. One of their defenders can drive it down toward the box, but will they have somebody to keep it in? Keeper comes and gets on it there, just at the outside of the, or just inside that box, the outside portion, able to touch it. Arsenal now, in his space, they win it. But coming over and covering well. They mark well for each other in this game, and those are the things that have made it tough for the Arsenal. Crittenden. Nice controlling the ball there, and a change of direction. But it Goes all the way down to the keeper, way off her line. Says, I'm not going to give him a chance to have another touch and enter the box. Jennifer Perry has played a good game as the keeper. Those are the types of things that you need for the confidence to not only win the semifinal, to get in the final and have a chance to win it all. The Arsenal. And when I say win it all in this region, because it continues on in the National. Souza can't get a teammate to run onto it. Now they do. At the top of the box. 50-50. Arsenal getting it going in the direction they want it. Only momentarily, though. And the Arsenal again. Driving it into the box, but off the keeper's hands, and it'll be a corner kick. She knew she had that one, but rushing and working hard that time. Elizabeth Johnson. Johnson creating a situation for the corner. Now, what will they do with the corner this time? The last time they got nothing on it. And with time not working for them, they have to get something on it this time. The header try is awry, and it goes past the goal line. Williams a little bit too much on that one, but she did have a player to get up in the air and at least head the ball down. But they didn't get it close enough towards getting it in the net. Too much velocity by Williams, and I'm sure she'll adjust the next time. And a substitution by West Coast FC. Kirsten Allen coming into the contest. And a substitution for the Arsenal. And now the goal kick, driven down off an Arsenal player and a West Coast Football Club player. The Arsenal have it, but it's deflected and blocked that time from going towards the box. Up in the air. The header into central, but they can't win it for a good play. However, here they are on it now, and they want to try it.
Go get her. Pressure,
On a counter to recollect themselves. They switch it to this side, but that doesn't work as it's taken away. The header brought down off of a bounce. Hannah Carroll winning the air battle now. West Coast FC. Mariah. Nice play there, and it is now even closer and closer towards the critical time. The Arsenal have a chance, but the West Coast FC has a free player there in a box. And a shot. Not a real accurate one, but it's one of those things where they have to try all the way down the field as a goal kick. Loftus trying something toward the net. Doesn't have to be accurate for her team, who's held this 2-0 lead from the first half, to stand up here in the second. Williams trying to keep it in, being pressured. Looking for a teammate, but gives it away. And here goes West Coast FC. On it is Allen. Kirsten Allen into the 18-yard box, and a save made. My Ortiz. And it is a foul in his space against the Arsenal. West Coast FC with a free kick.
Go, Amanda. Crossbar. Get her hard as you can.
Amanda Lobello will take the free kick. And will take all the allotted time.
Go, Amanda. Crossbar. Hit the crossbar right
And now Lobello drives it away from the keeper in the net. But either way, it works for West Coast FC. As the center ref will be looking at his watch pretty soon. And the Arsenal, and out, he doesn't have to, it's over. West Coast FC will continue on in the Nationals. A very well strategically played game by West Coast FC to beat the Arsenal, who were very game in this one. They didn't allow anything to go in their net in the second half, but it was the first half that did the trick with Carly Duarte scoring both of the goals. The set pieces were the ones. And so the try by the Arsenal and the Nationals will be finished today, and the West Coast FC will continue on to try and see if they can go to Boise. Good game played by both teams. We hope you enjoyed it here from San Juan Capistrano. I'm Greg Porter for George Lineman Video Sports Productions, saying take care of yourself, God bless, and save this one on the hard drive. Bye now.